Hi, I'm Dane Scott, top-rated seller on Fiverr, the Gig Doctor, and this is Furvy.
Hi, Dane!
And today, a word you never really hear, but it can make a real difference in how well we succeed as entrepreneurs and as people. That's where we're headed today.
The Gig Doctor.
Something that's hard to keep in mind sometimes as we're going about our daily routine of freelance work is the fact that the person we're dealing with at the other end of that internet connection or that phone call or that Zoom session is another human being just like us. Not that we ever completely forget that. I mean, we have our standard courtesies that we build into our routine. We say please and thank you, but sometimes it doesn't go much further than that. I found that, as much as possible in any communication with clients or potential clients, it's effective to try and engage with them just a bit. I don't get too personal or probing, but I show that I'm interested in them and recognize that they're not just someone who's putting quarters into my machine, my voiceover vending machine. I want them to see that I'm taking their humanity into consideration. That doesn't mean I have to get all wordy or take them off topic too much. A lot of clients are busy people, and some of them will just find it annoying if we try to get too personal or require too much back and forth with them. But, in a small way, I like to make sure that there's more of a connection happening with each person, even when it's a small order, than there would be if I were just going through the motions. So they know I'm someone real, and they realize that I recognize that they're somebody real too.
I like it when you're good and kind.
One of the best and most appreciated ways that we can do that is to acknowledge the needs of the client. I think what we need to do is put our antennas up because often, in some way, they're communicating to us their needs and how their needs are unique or special in some way. And if we recognize that in our answers to them, I think that can go a long way toward establishing a good long-term relationship with them. Now, let me give you a real-life example. Somebody contacts you through your Fiverr inbox, and they say they've got a project that needs your services. They say that they don't have a very big budget for the project, and they ask what you can do for them. Well, there are two ways we can respond to that. We can get all rigid and just say, hey, my price is my price, or we can acknowledge their situation a little bit and just give a bit and say, hey, I understand the tight budget. Let me take X amount off the price to help you out this time. And now let me say that it doesn't need to be a big sacrificial amount. Just enough of a reduction so that you show that you're respecting their request for a little help on price. And it needn't set a precedent either. I mean, if you include some kind of a proviso in there like this time or on this occasion or on this first order, they'll get it. Sometimes a Fiverr buyer will fill out a form when they request a custom quote from us, which includes a budget number. And let's say that when they do that, the budget number is below what we would normally charge for a project like the one they're describing. If we charge our full amount, it's going to feel like sticker shock to them. So we send them a little note with a quote saying, let me try and help get a little closer to your budget with this price break of X amount on our first order together. Or same scenario, but the orderer actually sends you a budget above what you would normally charge. That happens too. Well, you are fully within your rights to come in right at their offering price, and you should, in my opinion, because all pricing is relative to supply and demand. But let's soften the edge just a little. If they're offering a budget of $125 and our normal rate is half of that or three-quarters of that, we can certainly afford to come in slightly below their stated budget and offer to do the job for, say, $110, which would give them a $15 break. We'll still come out fine on it, but there's this psychological benefit to it because everybody, including them, wants to feel like they're getting a little price break, even if it's just a token. Token price breaks like that really do have kind of a magical impact. When somebody asks for a price accommodation, we shouldn't look at it as an annoyance. We should look at it as an opportunity. If a buyer has a choice of two suppliers, one who is rigid and inflexible and communicates in tight little business-like sentences with no sign of humanity about them, where the other supplier is, I won't say chatty, but cordial, and shows some indication that they're listening and they're actually trying to be accommodating, which of the two is the client more likely to want to do business with? And when it comes time for the next project, who are they going to remember pleasantly and be more likely to come back to? Once, decades ago, I heard a really inspiring message by an entrepreneurial guy, a real expert on doing business and working with people, Earl Nightingale. And he used a word that has stuck with me through all these years, reasonableness. It refers to a mindset that looks at business relationships through a different set of eyes. You could say a more human set of eyes. In a place like Fiverr, where we already feel like we're offering at least a fair price for our services, we may be tempted to look kind of coldly at anybody who seems to be asking us to compromise in any way. And I'm not saying we should bend like a reed in the wind either, but, if we can just show a small amount of flexibility, it communicates something important to the client, that we are recognizing their situation and trying to do what we can to be reasonable. Sometimes what they ask of us is something we can't do. Well, what then? Well, we can show our reasonableness by telling them what we can do. Rather than saying, I can't give you a discount, we can say something like, that's lower than I'm able to go, but let me tell you what I can do for you. I know you're also on a tight timetable for this project, and I will give you one-day delivery at no extra charge on this first order together. So at the same time that we're holding firm on our price, we're demonstrating our goodwill to them in some other way. Remember the word, reasonableness. It's a good word. It rolls off the tongue. Reasonableness. And each time you find yourself confronted by a situation like the ones I've described, try bringing it into play. It'll not only win you more sales and work, but more repeat business from clients who have come to see that you're someone who respects them and isn't just out for yourself. I put together 5 videos that talk about ways that you can win on Fiverr and in life generally with sales, but especially on Fiverr, techniques that have not only worked for me, but actually make me a lot of money every year, just because they finally dawned on me and I started doing them. That's why I call them head slappers, and between now and the new year, I'm giving you $250 worth of head slappers for $99. You pay for 2, you get 5. With a complete money-back guarantee. If you don't feel like they've done what they need to do for you, just ask for your money. I'll give it back to you. It's no big deal for me. Mainly, I want to get these into your hands because I am so confident that they will help, as they've definitely helped me to succeed on Fiverr. Got a link in the comments below that'll take you straight to the page and to the discount, so check that out. Be sure to hit the bell, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Let us know your comments, too. I'm Dane Scott. Talk to you next time.
You give me a call.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I think.
Hello, cutie pie.
Until I heard the voice, I'd never done a crazy thing in my whole life.
Goodbye.